Hello, I'm Bliznub, and welcome to Building the Best. Today we're going to be looking... No, I wasn't. No, calm down. God damn it, Ordis. Anyhow, today we're going to be looking at the Dual-Commerce Prime. Again, actually, I have looked at this before, and this is the first redo, or update, that I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to be updating some of my older builds, which I feel maybe I didn't quite do right in the first place. And this is definitely one very deserving of an update, because this was my original build, which is a slash damage, pure damage build with a little bit of attack speed thrown in for the lols. And it was quite subpar, and a few people have called me out on this, and I have to say that after initially thinking, no, you're crazy, now I'm sort of thinking they're not. I'm sort of thinking they had a point, because whilst this build will melt anything up to level 40 with ridiculous ease, it won't really deal with anything higher than level 40. So, to that end, I've come up with a new build using some of the suggestions which were on the video, and it is a shattering impact build, because now that I knew a while ago but I didn't make a video on it, that you only need impact damage to be part of your damage, shattering impact makes all of the sense, because this reduces an enemy's base armor by 6. Now, enemies have a varying amount of armor depending on their level, but their base armor is always the same, unless you have shattering impact, which reduces it permanently by 6 per hit. So to that end, we're looking here at the highest attacks per second on the Dual-Commerce Prime on a shattering impact weapon, which is going to be fantastic. Now, whilst the Torpedo and I believe the Shaku do beat the Dual-Commerce Prime in terms of attack speed, they don't actually beat it in terms of attacks per second. Dual-Commerce Prime will always win. So this is just a fantastic weapon for shattering impact, and having looked around, I can't find one that's better. I really tried. Anyhow, down to it. So what we have, of course, is Pressure Point to get us some base damage to work with. Then we have Fury and Berserker for the fantastical amounts of attack speed they're going to supply. Then we have True Steel and Organ Shatter, because, as I said in my last covering of this weapon, pardon me, the crit chance actually isn't that good on this, but given that we're going to be hitting the enemy 4 or 5 times per second at least, you know, before we get Berserker procs, True Steel's 64% crit chance is still very, very good. And Organ Shatter buffing up this weapon to 3.8 times crit multiplier is fantastic. Finally, we have Vicious Frost and Virulent Scourge on here, mostly so that I didn't have to farm this weapon, but partly because they buff up the status chance. Now, we're going for viral damage on this because it is a slash damage weapon, and also because when an enemy doesn't have armor, I believe viral is always the best damage type, pretty much regardless of situation. I think that's different with Infested, but I'd have to go and check the Damage 2.0 page to check that. Regardless, I'm going up against Grineer in this video, and this, I can guarantee, is the best damage type against Grineer if they don't have armor. And due to Shattering Impact, I'm pretty sure they're not going to have armor. So let's test this thing out, and to test it, thankfully there is a sortie up today, which is melee only, which I thought would be fun. So let's go slaughter some things. Oh. Now, I know that this weapon actually isn't very popular, not just because, you know, people think it's just mastery fodder, but also because it's ridiculously hard to get. So I can highly recommend this just because I feel like it isn't mastery fodder if you build it this way. I feel like it really is worth your time. So anyhow, just to say, I'm actually going to be using this unequipped, and the only way of doing that when you're in a sortie like this is to equip a scanner. So there we go. So we can see it isn't instantly killing these guys, and arguably other builds might, but at the same time, it's going to be doing as much damage as you see here, regardless of the enemy's level, because it will strip off the enemy's armor at the same speed, regardless of level, and then apply those delightful viral and slash procs that are going to slaughter the enemy. So we see this bombard, and he's gone. You know, I would happily say that there are other builds on my channel which could kill these guys in 2 or 3 hits, whereas this thing takes a dozen. But at the same time, if these guys were level 200, it would still be a dozen hits. So it's a little bit slower than a pure damage build, but it's the same amount of damage regardless of the enemy's level, which is fantastic. And that's what Shattering Impact is all about, I think. Is being able to remove the enemy's level advantage from the playing field. And leave just their raw amount of health as the only obstacle you have to bypass. And then when you have slash and viral procs going off every other hit, this weapon becomes just insanely good. So yeah. Oh wow, I unlocked the door for that. I assumed that was the way forwards. Oh, there we go. Just wanted to find another crowd of enemies before I finish this up. This weapon is, so much fun. It really, really is. However, I am going to die in a minute here, and that is not good for videos. Iron skin, please. Thank you. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching. This is a seriously fun build, and I can highly recommend it to absolutely anyone. Even if you're just going to mastery fodder this weapon, it's worth a kata. Just take it, do this to it, I promise you won't regret it. Anyhow, as I was saying, thank you very much for watching. Please like and comment below. Let me know if you think your build might be better. I'm always open to suggestions as far as builds go, as long as you try to keep them constructive. And as always, I'm Bliznub, and this is the Dual Cameras Prime. Thank you for watching.